Today we're going to show you one of the ways you can search for legislation on the Indiana General Assembly website. One other way you can find bills and legislation you're interested in is by the Legislation tab. This will not only give you a better idea of the progression of your bill, but also extra information about its actions. Now let's take a look at the Legislation tab. If you click on Bills, you'll see a comprehensive list of House and Senate bills from the 2024 session. Now again, this session already wrapped up, but we can go ahead and see which ones were signed into law and which ones were not signed into law. The ones in the blue represent the ones that were signed into law, and the gray ones represent bills that did not pass into law and or died during the legislative session. When the 2025 session commences, those bills will also be listed here. You can click on any of these for more information. For example's sake, let's click on one of the bills here. Again, the Senate and the House are going to give you very similar functionality on these sides. I'm going to scroll down to one that I did cover during the last legislative session. That's Senate Bill 188, Actions on Deposit Accounts. Now, this lowers the statute of limitations, meaning the amount of time that someone has to dispute changes to their depository accounts from 6 years to 2 years. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the left side of this page next to the bill to give you more information. Again, right here you just see a brief summary, who it was authored and sponsored by, another little brief summary, and then you can again click this drop down to see more information and click on the people who were authors and sponsors of the bill. Now if we go to this side, we can look at bill actions. This will show you a timeline-like sampling of the versions the bill has moved through and its legislative actions. An S next to this date indicates a Senate action, while an H indicates a House action. Now let's click on Senate amendments. Here we can see any amendments the Senate made to the bill. And then here we can also see under House amendments any amendments that were made to this bill. Then we can go ahead and also look under the House and Senate roll calls. If we go ahead and click this PDF for the Senate roll calls, this will be the bill passing, so we can see the people who voted yes and the people who voted no. And if we navigate back, we can also click on the House version of that. So again, we can see the bill passing, we can see who voted yes and who voted no. Now we're going to go ahead and click on the bill versions drop down. You can see the different variations of the bill. So for example, if we go to click on number 2, the Senate bill, we can see the roll call of when it was passed, the bill, and then we can see various other fiscal notes. And again, if we click on this will just say fiscal impact statement. This just talks a little bit about how this will affect finances in the state and that kind of stuff. Now these sections are all helpful for us reporters to see what exactly a bill says and get any clarification for its language. If you click any of the pluses next to the other version of these bills, they will bring you options to click on similar PDFs. And again, like I said, if you click on fiscal notes, this will give you information about the finance involved with the bill, while amendments will show changes to these bills, and roll calls will show how the senators and representatives voted on various aspects of the bills and changes. Now, other features in this drop-down menu include committee amendments. Again, we can only view one amendment here at the moment. For the sake of time, we won't click on these PDFs as well, but you can go ahead and look here. The amendment is just going to show you what the amendment says, and then the markup document and merge document are going to show you how it would look without these changes, and then how it looks when you are merging these amendment changes into the bill. Underneath committee reports, we can see what the corresponding committee has come to in terms of any changes they want to see made for this bill. Because this bill is assigned to the Education Committee, the committee reports will be the Education Committee of both the House and the Senate. Underneath committee reports, we can see what the corresponding committee has come to in terms of any changes they want to see made for this bill. Now, because this bill is assigned to the Education Committee, the committee reports will be the Education Committee of both the Senate and the House. Now, if we click on the House Committee report, they agreed to all the changes and they wanted the bill to pass. If we click on the Senate Committee report, they asked for a slight change in language here and some stuff to be inserted and amended. Now, this is all submitted for consideration by the opposite house, which will reject or accept these changes to the bill. Now, finally, we also see concurrence and dissent, the motions here. These reports will indicate what was decided in conference committees, which again involve both houses meeting to discuss and agree upon changes to the bill made during committee hearings. These reports will show the corresponding changes coming out of committee meetings. Now we're going to scroll back up to the top and see bills by legislator and bills by subject. If we click by legislator, we see a list of various senators and representatives. As you can see, there is a search bar at the top of the page. If you know the name of your legislator, you can type it in here. Otherwise, you can either filter with these 3 white buttons, all for both senators and representatives, or just one or the other, and then you can scroll through this page. Once you know who you'd like to click on, you can see the bills they've authored, sponsored, co-authored, or co-sponsored. For example's sake, let's click on Representative Maureen Brower. Here we see an overview of House Representative Maureen Brower. We see the district she represents, her address, and her phone number. And if we scroll through this page, we can also see the bills she's authored, co-authored, sponsored, and co-sponsored. For each piece of legislation, there is a bill number and short summary. You can click on the bill number for more information about it. Overall, this is a great comprehensive look into what the lawmaker did. Now we're also going to look at by subject. This is another way of grouping bills. Here you can either search for a subject in this blank bar or search by alphabetic character. Because abortion was a large topic last year, let's do this one for example's sake. Now here we can go ahead and see all of the abortion-related bills in the 2024 session. We, as usual, have the bill number, which is hyperlinked if you want to click on it for more information, a brief description, and its status. This is a great tool if there's a topic you're interested in. If you haven't already, make sure to check out our other video on how to find bills and legislation via the Committee tab. This explains another way to navigate the IGA website to find topics and legislation you're interested in, and how to insert your own voice into committee hearings. We also have another video on how to find your legislators. Our next video will wrap up all these topics and give you guys a sense of how you can connect with our reporters and team during the session to answer any unanswered questions and get more information.